This is the story of a star that ruled everything. What this star was about could never be seen as a single picture, or even a whole movie. Because it was the picture, it was the movie. Its light was everywhere. There was not a single thing that wasn't touched by this star and its light. Not even a cloud could be formed, nor a seed grown without it. Without this light there could be no rain, no trees, no animals, no air to hold the clouds that made the rain that watered the trees and animals from beginning to end, so all things could take shape and grow. Deep within the center of this star there existed a little girl named Sophia. She lived her life proudly under the family banner of the Royal Order of the House of Hydrogen. This royal house was the most important house in the entire empire of this grand yellow star that lit her universe. Without the Royal House of Hydrogen, this star could not govern all of space and time within the 8 planets that circled it. This royal position was not granted lightly, nor was it a spur-of-the-moment sort of thing. It didn't happen overnight, and it did not happen by chance or by accident. The creation of this royal house was just one small step in billions of steps as part of a grand plan that started with tiny beginnings and continued in countless changes and a series of steps on a path that has no end. With these countless changes through eons of time came a day when Sophia and her family were forced to leave their home because this grand yellow star was slowly beginning to weaken. Their home had become too heavy and too dark and could no longer shine like it once did, nor be what it once was. Only the ancient skeleton of the structure remained. Soon it would collapse under its own weight. When it did, the body of their great house shot into space, streaming in all directions. This was the death of this once brilliant star. But in the mysterious way of a never-ending universe, it was also the birth of billions more. As the light from the great and royal house of hydrogen traveled unbelievable distances into the farthest reaches of space, it began to live again. It began to join with other members of the scattered house, and the more who joined, the more who wanted to join. And they did join. And from this joining they formed a new star and a new family of planets that would end all the darkness the yellow star's demise had caused. For lonely Sophia, this scattering of her house and all her relatives was a huge problem. Sophia wandered alone through space and spent her time never staying in one place even for a millisecond. However, the fleeting memory of her former state also produced in her the satisfying feeling that her father, somehow, had always been very near. Perhaps he was just somewhere else? Sophia had thought to herself. As Sophia grasped all of these sensations, she heard her mother near her yelling out, "Your father is here! Your father is here!" Suddenly, a group of men from the House of Oxygen appeared over the nebulae cloud tops. One of them, named Oxygen, brought with him the 8 sons of Oxygen as part of the sacred order of electrons. They were guardians of a deeper, mysterious world in which crazy attractions lead to peace and serenity, and gave life to all that was big and small, a mysterious world where evil did not exist, as long as that world was not interfered with for evil purposes. Sophia gazed into the shield of the 6th electron and the son of Oxygen. In his shining shield appeared a reflection of her father. Sophia was ecstatic. As the sun drew nearer, Neutron's floating image became bigger and bigger, but still, he remained without thickness, without shape, unlike Sophia's proton mother. From that day on, Sophia's House of Hydrogen and the House of Oxygen were inseparable and magnificent all across the new baby blue planet that its people called Earth.